Am I in there? I am in there. He's in there. Hello, happy campers. Welcome back to another edition of Geekin Out. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is still Chris. I don't know why. He just cannot give it up. But anyway.
I know it's a thing I'm going through.
Well, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about and no way to organize it. So, what to do but to start at the very beginning. We have fan art. We always appreciate fan art here at Geo. Can you tell us about this, Chris?
This comes from, this fan art comes from a studio named Picky Nikki Studio, which you can actually find on Facebook. You can find her on Facebook, and we'll probably put her, are we going to put her down on the...
She is. She's already in the credits. But see, we got this last week after we filmed last week's episode. But before I did the post-production, so I was able to include this as our opening graphics.
Yes.
It's going to be our opening graphics this week, too.
Awesome.
And so we give Picky Nikki a little lovin's there in the credits.
Yes.
So,
also, I want to say thanks to my friend Cassandra and her family for, introducing us to this wonderful woman who can create awesome stuff. You definitely got to go check her out. She has some amazing art on there.
So anyway, if you want to come in with some fan art of your own, music, stories, whatever you want to do, you want to pass it along to us, hey, we don't mind giving you the rub and stuff. Actually, we probably need to start coming up with a list, like Friends of Flippy or something, for all these people where we're getting together. Just a little online mailing list or something where people can get to know each other.
Ooh.
Or maybe we actually get some use out of our Facebook page. But as opposed to that one, how many people you got on? Tell them about your Facebook page. Let me put this down where it's safe.
Well,
You actually have a Facebook group of movie fans somewhere.
Yes.
Can't think what it's called.
It is called Movie Geek. When we discussed about this, he had second thoughts about putting Geekin Out on Facebook. So I figured, all right, well, I'll call it Movie Geek to where I can advertise what we have and post some of our videos on there. But, of course, you still click on it and you'll have to go to our YouTube channel. But
why do you not have a Facebook video page, by the way?
Hmm?
You're more adept at social media than I am. Listen, let me just be honest. I hate social media.
Yeah,
okay? I despise social media. I can find better ways to waste my time with social media. Like watching the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters coming out to theaters this week. Matter of fact, we're filming this about 1 o'clock on Sunday, October 6th. In about 3 hours, we'll be watching Ghostbusters where God intended it, on the big screen, part of Fathom Events. You can go to fathomevents.com/Ghostbusters and find out. I think they have another play coming up at 7 o'clock on October 6th and 7 o'clock on Thursday, October 10th. I believe are the dates.
Okay, that's a lot.
So if you want to see the Ghostbusters on the big screen, and again, they don't pay us a dime to do this. It's just something to do, which is... Guys, I know you're watching this. I know you like it when I rant, and I am working myself up to a good rant. Okay, we do need to discuss. We need to discuss the Joker movie, even though neither of us has seen it. Okay, I've already come out and said I don't want to see it because it's R-rated. Joker without Batman to me is like pancakes without syrup. What's the use? But actually, I guess it'd be more like syrup without pancakes, because Batman would be the pancakes, wouldn't he? There's a debate for the ages.
Yeah, he would be the pancake.
So anyway, we're going to have a nice little rant. I'm going to have a nice little rant because right after we wrap this, I'm going to try to do an episode of The Chore of Duty, and you're not going anywhere.
Okay.
You're going to be right here, buddy. And because I don't have time to do it any other time in the week, and we now have 3 sat cats in the post-production facility here at Casa del Who What Where. So it's not that easy for me to go in there. The first 3 episodes I did in the office we have here at Who What Where, and now that, like I said, 3 cats that were sitting for noobs with boobs, and so we're I cannot get in there and get 5 minutes peace and quiet to record. So I'm just going to do it here while I've got you, here, and we'll just shoot off each other. This will be us, but without the pop culture stuff. This will be more like politics, philosophy and such, yes.
There's people out there that's probably watching this and going like, cats and noobs with boobs? What?
Okay, to give you an idea, okay?
Yes.
The extended Flippy family. I am unofficially Flippy the turtle. Of course, Chris here's my half brother. My beloved wife, who shall not be seen, is floating around here. She keeps the whole Who What Where facility from flying apart. And
it's so easy to fly apart.
And the beloved daughter, the beloved son wants nothing to do with it. I can't say as a blame because I hate social media just as much as he does. But the beloved daughter, on the other hand, has her own YouTube channel that she has with one of her best friends, and that's Beth and Jane. They're over on a channel called Noobs with Boobs. That's NEWBS. Which I always thought it was NOOBS, but hey, then again, I always thought it was pronounced GIF, not GIF, like God intended it to be. Anyway, I am actually off the camera, but we'll deal with it. Okay, so let's talk about Joker real quick. Neither one of us has seen the movie yet.
Not yet.
Last I checked, before we came on, about 10 minutes before we came on, I checked Rotten Tomatoes. Critical score is at 69%, which means certified fresh, or right there at borderline certified fresh. And the audience score went down from 92% yesterday to 91% today, which means people are digging the movie.
Yeah.
I have heard so far, and like I said, I haven't checked this for a couple hours. We're recording this at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, October 6th. I have heard of exactly one incident at a Joker showing. That involved some dude standing there cheering the Joker every time he killed somebody, and generally just acting like an a-hole and creeping out the entire theater until one dude finally had enough of it, threw him out of the theater, and held him for the police to come check him out.
This is not the first time this has actually happened, because I believe it was the Dark Knight, which was Christopher Nolan's Batman movie that had Heath Ledger playing the Joker. There was a shootout in the theater. So, remember that one?
Now that shooter had what, purple hair or something like that. He thought he was playing Joker. He couldn't even get the green hair right. Hey, out of all the years ago that's the one thing that managed to stick in my head. Dude couldn't remember what color the Joker's hair was. But we'll talk about that on the Chore of Duty when I discuss nut control. Beloved wife's going to kick my butt for smacking the table again. But so we'll be discussing nut control over on the COD. But over here on Geo,
Nut control.
I do not. Hold on. I'm gonna reserve judgment for just a second. Are you going to go see the Joker movie?
As a film buff, and it seems like ever since we started doing this, it seems like it is my duty to go and watch movies, even the movies that, like I went and watched Dora the Explorer, for crying out loud, so, and did a review on it. So I feel obligated to actually go see this movie. I don't know how, I may like it, but then again I may not. I don't know. I have mixed feelings with it. But yeah, I will go see it and do a review on it. I don't know when. But
for me, the biggest holdup, of course, is now the Joker's a psychopath. The Joker's violent.
yes.
Of course, I love the comic books idea that there could be 3 Jokers. I think that would be spectacular. But they don't address that here. This is a unofficial origin story. Okay, this is not going to be canon for DC. This is an origin story for the Joker. A potential origin story, because as the Joker himself said in the comic books, even he can't remember his origin story. So whenever he tells it, he just pulls it out of his rump and tells it. Anyway.
Just like Dark Knight Rises, he told two different stories about how he got the scars on his face.
Yes.
You know, so.
So, as far as the Joker is concerned, the last time I saw the Joker was in which movie? Which movie was the Joker last in?
Dark Knight.
He was in a movie after that.
Oh,
Yes, we don't like to discuss that one.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad, which they're also remaking, and apparently they can't get Will Smith back for.
And they don't want Jared Leto's Joker in there. either.
Remind me to get back to Gemini Man. Okay, now,
Gemini Man.
have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Hold on. Okay, so the last time I saw the Joker was as the fruit bat sucking nut on Suicide Squad, which was not a good movie, not well written, no character development whatsoever. It's a great concept.
Yeah.
I first saw the Suicide Squad back in the mid 80s, around 86, 87. It's actually a lot older than that. It was first done in the 60s, and it was basically kind of like, oh Lord, it came up about the same time as Challengers of the Unknown, and both of them were kind of done in response to the Fantastic Four. So,
Yeah.
where you've got adventurers hanging out and doing things. Okay, so my view of the Joker was colored by that. From what I'm seeing, this is a little more introspective and thought out than that. This is not as violent as I feared it would be. Apparently, the violence that it shows is graphic, but it's not done for absolutely no purpose. This is a guy. This is essentially Bipolar the movie. The dude's going from
Bipolar the movie.
Dude's going from apathy to chaos over and over and over again, and it's happening to this guy Arthur, who becomes the Joker, and eventually he has to make a decision that just starts a domino effect, the butterfly effect that just knocks all the dominoes over and sends him careening into madness. But
I mean,
now that movie sounds a little more interesting to me than what I feared it would be, which is a 2-hour horror movie featuring the Joker instead of Jason Voorhees.
I never saw, like, when I pictured an origin story of the Joker, I never really saw it to be a horror movie, but a kind of like Bonnie and Clyde, the movie Seven. Kind of like that type of rhythm of just some nutbag going around killing people, and you have people trying to chase him down, and then maybe he ends up in Gotham. This one actually just takes place with him already being in Gotham and just going crazy and mad. I know we've had all kinds of different type of Jokers. I mean, you had Jack Nicholson in the 1989 Tim Burton, which I thought was great. And then, of course, the cartoon, the comic books, and of course, my favorite, Heath Ledger, which I'm sorry that he's.
And don't forget my favorite, Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero was also good.
Still the ultimate Joker, and Mark Hamill
was really good.
I love you no matter how many times you pitch a hissy fit at Trumps, but. I still love you, but brother, you still ain't Cesar Romero with the mustache under the white makeup. That is dedication, my friend. But so I'm actually changing my mind on it. I may wind up watching Joker in its second week or third week, maybe. But so you feel obligated to do it. If you didn't feel obligated to do it for the YouTube channel, would you still watch the Joker?
Yeah, because I'm interested. I mean, being a huge Batman fan, I would love to see what they create of this, because I always like to see different versions, even though sometimes I just disagree on different outlooks on Gotham or the Batman lore, but I'm still up for it.
Okay. One thing I want to talk about before we leave, we'll go ahead and put Joker off to the side until we do the next show. Is Gemini Man, featuring Will Smith and Will Smith. Now, in case you didn't know, Will Smith essentially is allowed to do anything. Okay, there's 3 guys in Hollywood who can do anything they want. Okay, and they're all under the age of 50. There's exactly 3 guys who can do anything they want. And that's Will Smith, that's The Rock, and Tom Hanks. God help us if the 3 of them ever come together in one movie. I don't think the universe will be able to handle the explosion.
See, I wasn't expecting you to pick the other 2, but okay.
No,
I thought he was going to throw Tom Cruise or...
No, think about this. Think about... All right, let's have Will Smith, The Rock, Tom Hanks.
Right.
And for the fun of it, let's throw in Tommy Lee Jones and Clint Eastwood, and let's redo Star Wars Episode 1. No, I take it back, Episode 4. My bad. Let's do A New Hope.
No. No. No, 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 no. No,
Yes.
no, no, no. No, 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 no. No.
I love driving.
Even though
I love driving him insane because it's such a short trip. It is. It's just, you look at him, you just see it in the eyes.
Look,
right,
it is
right there. You can see him.
It is not no, you just can't do that.
Now,
You can't do
The
that.
Rock.
I know.
The Rock as Spock. And Will Smith as Captain Kirk. And Maya Angelou as Bones. Oh wait, Maya Angelou's dead. Never mind.
Congratulations.
DeForest Kelly is dead too, so it matches.
Congratulations. You've somehow found a way to take...
I know, Michael Dorn
No.
as Bones. There you go.
No.
The Rock as Spock. I can live with that. Just to see your head implode. I'm not that much of a Star Trek fan. But anyway.
So where were we going on Gemini Man here?
Gemini Man. The idea is that it features Will Smith and Will Smith in a dual role. Basically, Will Smith has to kick Will Smith's ass before Will Smith can wind up ending the universe. So, you've got, the idea is it talent or experience? Because basically, you know, like in Terminator, where they send people back in time to go after the robots that have been, the Terminators that have been sent back in time, and they're all trying to kill John Connor, right? Okay, in this case, in Gemini Man, they take older Will Smith, throw him back in time to stop young Will Smith from doing something stupid that will doom the entire planet. Essentially. That's probably not the exact plot. That's what I've gotten from it so far. Bleh. That's all you need from a Will Smith movie, to be honest, is a rough plot outline. But it looks interesting because, yep, it's Uncanny Valley time again. Because young Will Smith is playing both roles, but his younger self is being digitally altered to look like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Which is just weird. To be honest, it's weird.
Especially seeing them kick each other's butts up and down.
I mean, I'm all ready for that part. It's just, it's weird to see Fresh Prince version hold guns and try to kill people. It's just really weird.
But you knew it was always under the surface. It was only for Auntie Vi that he held back.
I'm on board for Gemini Man because of certain reasons. I don't care about the plot. It does kind of remind me of Looper, which, if you've ever seen that movie, is a good movie.
Which reminds me of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of about 24 other movies I could think of over the years that have done it to varying effects.
I'm in it because John Woo is directing this movie, and it looks like there's a... Woo! And it looks like there is a bunch of great martial art action scenes in this movie, which gets me really excited because I love that type of stuff. I really do. And also finding new ways to like hurt somebody is always pretty awesome in action films, to be honest.
See, we've already got the sequel figured out for Gemini Man. Will Smith and Will Smith against the Wu-Tang Clan. Yes? No? Short draft. Anyway, we're 20 minutes in. We still haven't made any points yet.
We have not made any points.
But anyway, we're 20 minutes in. It's about time we start wrapping this up, because once we get too far past 20 minutes, my cheapo 15-year-old PC doesn't like to deal with post-production things. But
hopefully soon, though, we'll have good quality.
So let's wrap this up. Yeah, we're expecting a new equipment coming in here eventually, if he didn't get ripped off on Wish.
Please. Don't say that.
But so to sum everything up, Joker, not as bad as I thought it would be. You feel obligated to watch it, but you would probably watch it anyway.
Yeah.
Gemini Man actually sounds interesting to me until you said those two dreaded words, kung fu, and then it's like, but I'll probably watch it on Netflix or
you watch
Netflix
wrestling
account or something.
That's something else.
That's something else we need to discuss.
Yeah,
it has been
that's
a huge,
the reunion
huge week.
last night. What was it? Friday night or Friday
It's
night.
been a huge week for professional wrestling. I don't know how many pro wrestling fans we have out here. I'm sorry.
I actually
For three quarters of it, sports entertainment. That's the WWE, buddy. It is. Vince McMahon insists it is sports entertainment, although both AEW and NXT will tell you it's pro wrestling. But anyway, it was this past week was a huge week for pro wrestling. On Monday night, we had the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, even though they never take a week off, really. Even 9/11 couldn't knock them off the air for long. So that drew about, if I'm recalling correctly, roughly 2.5 million people. The Wednesday night we had NXT, which used to be the WWE's farm league, but it's grown to such a point that it's now 2 hours per week on the USA Network. That one went from 1.5 million in its first episode 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago it went down to roughly 1.1 million. This past week, where it went head to head with All Elite Wrestling Dynamite over on TNT, the first wrestling war they've had since 2002, thereabouts. They pulled about 880,000, so it's been a steady drop. AEW, on the other hand, pulled somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2 million, and then Friday on SmackDown, the last numbers I saw put them right around 4 million people, which, incredibly enough, did not win the night. They placed second behind Hawaii 5-0, and CBS's Monday Night lineup beat.
What?
Mm-hmm. I believe first hour pulled 3.9 million, second hour pulled about 3.8, which is not bad at all for a pro wrestling, especially considering this was the first pro wrestling weekly show on broadcast network television somewhere around 60 years. It's been that long since a regularly broadcast show. Now, NBC did have Saturday night's main event, would occasionally do things to WWF, but nothing regular in prime time on broadcast network.
You know what? Honestly, we should have actually just made this whole show about the wrestling night, because I got some questions.
Yes,
I got to see McMahon's son and daughter both get in the ring and fight. His son sucks. He really sucks. Actually, that whole fight was really horrible. Really horrible.
Now, you are not a wrestling fan, correct?
I am not, but I got to watch it Saturday with some friends.
You watched Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got to see The Rock. I got to see all the great ones. Some of them I was like, who is this? And who is this? So I was like...
And you're exactly what the WWE wanted there. The person who doesn't follow professional wrestling, you're the reason Fox wanted WWE there, because Fox just couldn't draw flies on Friday nights, because Friday night is a death slot in network television. WWE wanted to be on Fox because they wanted people who don't normally watch wrestling to watch SmackDown. So that's why they got the huge pop number. Shane McMahon does suck. But Shane McMahon as a guy who's been watching wrestling off and on for about 40 years now, okay, let me tell you about Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is a spot monkey. That's what he's called by the fans in wrestling. He's a spot monkey. what he does is he does some kind of stupid, insane thing, like he climbs up on the top rope, jumps clear across the entire wrestling ring so he can land on somebody. And usually winds up doing more damage to himself than he does to somebody else.
That whole ladder thing was just...
Kevin Owens, listen, he took on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is much, much better than what you saw in that match with Shane McMahon.
I mean, the whole match was just totally horrible.
Yeah.
But it was just the fact that I was actually shocked more than anything that somebody his dad is like a huge figure in the wrestling, it's like, and this is how they treat him. It was like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I figured he would be like...
No. Shane McMahon has always wanted to... He's always been there with the boys and the women, for that matter. But he's always been there with the locker room. He's always been one of the first guys into every arena. He's one of the guys who helped set up the ring ever since he was a teenager.
Huh.
He loves the business. He loves the professional wrestlers he works with. Cool. And he wants to go out there and get as many over as he can. He was actually running, if I recall correctly, he was running a hedge fund in Taiwan about 4 years ago, and then came back to help keep SmackDown from being canceled. So that's that. But that was actually the second worst match of the night. Was there any other questions you had from that? I'll tell you what the worst one is here in a second.
Well, I mean, I really did enjoy The Rock coming in there and laying his smack down.
What'd you think of Becky Lynch?
Which one was she?
There were 3 people in the ring. Rock was one. A guy named Baron Corbin in the Crown was the second one. The redhead. Mm-hmm.
I never seen her before, but I was also kind of being like, oh, she's pretty. But yeah, she was awesome. That guy with the crown, though, he cracked me up.
Baron Corbin is considered. Baron Corbin is one of those guys. Everybody got sick of him because they were just seeing him week after 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 week, and they were getting tired of it. And he was drawing what they call heat. Heat is when people boo somebody in the ring. Yeah. But there's different types of heat.
He did look like the boo guy.
There's go away heat, which is what he drew at first because people were just sick of seeing him. But he just kept trying so hard that people finally stopped saying go away, and they're just like, oh, you suck. So
The Rock came in there and helped that.
Yes. And the idea was to get Becky Lynch over because she is the women's champion. Well, she's the Raw Women's Champion. She's actually supposed to be competing on Monday Night Raw. But because she is a semi-mainstream name, she was there on Friday night. Plus, she also got twice the exposure on SmackDown that she got on Raw, on USA Network.
It was good. I would like to know, I wish I could remember what The Rock said to him, but I couldn't stop laughing at that. And
he was a budget Burger King on crack.
And that's what, that was hilarious. I was like, that's great.
Dwayne Johnson, I swear to God, he could be one of the best insult comics of all time if he just gave it a try. Anyway,
he said that, and everybody in the room that was watching was like, what did he just say? But this
is why you've always if you see Dwayne Johnson on any kind of wrestling thing, you turn the captions on. Because I guarantee he's going to throw on like this, and you're going to get a better chance keeping up with the captions than you will keeping up with him talking. Kind of like Benny Hill that way. But anyway, what else do you remember from Friday night? The
one that I also kind of laughed at and was like, wow, that was stupid. But I don't know who they are, but I want to call them the California Raisins.
The New Day. The New Day, the 3 brothers, the 3 black guys. Yeah, they're called the New Day. Their whole thing is the power of positivity.
That positivity didn't last long.
A decade ago, when they first started, these 3 first got together. They used to pull insane go away heat because they were so positive. And they were just going to be smiling and clapping and laughing despite everybody. Eventually, people came to respect it. Okay, Kofi Kingston used to be the WWE champion going into this. Kofi Kingston was essentially a working stiff in the WWE for 10 years. And I mean, this guy could put over a broomstick. He could wrestle anybody and make them look great, but he never got the rub. It wasn't until back around March, this guy named Mustafa Ali, wondrous is he, Ali got injured and was supposed to be wrestling for an opportunity at the WWE Championship. He gets injured. Kofi Kingston gets plugged into this place as an emergency replacement, wins the match, gets over, winds up going to WrestleMania, wins the title, and holds it against all comers. And I mean, some of the best guys on the planet, sent from roughly the beginning of April up until this past Friday. I mean, he was putting together like 20-minute matches, 25-minute matches, classic matches, just tough as nails, really put himself over. The fans loved him. But Brock Lesnar is the hunk of meat that is making Vince McMahon hot right now, so he had to lose in 5 seconds to Brock Lesnar. And I knew that was trouble because I was watching it live, looked at the clock, it was 9:55. I said, there's no way in hell Fox is letting this go over, or overtime. Anyway, so this is going to suck. Sure enough, 5 seconds later. Meanwhile, I got to figure out who the hell Cain Velasquez is. Apparently, he's the guy in UFC who kicked Brock Lesnar in the nuts back when he was trying to be in UFC like 10 years ago. And so now Brock Lesnar is all fearful of him, and I'm supposed to care. So I absolutely agree with you. That was stupid.
Yeah,
I
didn't even get to see him hit him because it literally happened in like
a
blink of an eye. Because I turned around, grabbed my drink, and then I was like, "What the heck just happened?" like everybody's like, "What the hell?" But yeah.
That was.
It was just.
Yeah. That was bad, and that really, I guarantee you, put this down. SmackDown is going to go down on Fox. SmackDown is going to wind up being the wrestling show that wrestling fans hate. This is going to be everything Vince McMahon thinks should be in a wrestling ring, and every wrestling fan on the planet is just going to dump on it on a weekly basis, and it's still going to pull about 3 million viewers a week.
I'm going to have to get back into it because I haven't watched wrestling like...
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. If you want to get into professional wrestling, okay, you have an option. One's easier than the other. Get into All Elite Wrestling on Wednesday nights. Okay, Wednesday nights is where the good stuff is at. All Elite Wrestling, that's Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all these other young, hungry talent who are now in charge of the entire company. Okay, this is where young wrestlers actually get total creative input into what happens on the screen, what happens in the matches, all this other stuff. Okay, so that's total creative control. They actually started this company for these guys. Okay, so it's an experiment that you're seeing blow up in your face. The other one you want to watch, and you can actually watch this on Hulu. If you have a Hulu subscription, even the little $6 one will work. You can watch NXT. Okay, it's 2 hours every week. You want to see Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. Okay, you want to see Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole.
Remember them.
Bay. Remember those two names, and those two will suck you into a world of NXT that it looks, for all the old school wrestling fans out there, and we're at 35 minutes, I need to wrap this. For all the old school wrestling fans out there, if the phrase TBS 6:05 p.m. Saturday night means anything to you, NXT and AEW is more your line of thing. Raw is still about the SmackDown is all about the spectacle now. Raw is all about the Vince McMahon storytelling style. AEW and NXT is where professional wrestling lives right now. Ring of Honor is still out there. That's an option. The NWA is actually back. Speaking of 6:05 p.m. on TBS on a Saturday night, the NWA is actually back on YouTube. You can watch it for free every Tuesday night at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time on the NWA's YouTube channel. It's different. Okay, if you're used to like Raw or SmackDown, it's different. It can be a bit of a learning curve, but it's worth checking out. Check out New Japan. They still turn up every once in a while. That's out of Tokyo, buddy. Check out AAA. That is out of Mexico City. Those are the luchadors. All kinds of stuff. If you have Netflix, go check out old episodes of Lucha Underground.
Oh,
I swear to God, that is the shiznit and the swizzle stick right there, buddy. Okay. If you want to get in, if you have ever looked at a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode that had the Mexican wrestler in it, who was there's about 2 or 3 episodes with the Mexican wrestler starring in it.
Let's not talk about that.
Lucha Underground, you won't believe it.
Oh wow.
Wow. But anyway, so for me, probably personally, I would say NXT. Try it first. If you don't like the small ring feel, try AEW. That happens in the huge arenas. Basically the same thing, but in huge arenas. Third, I'd have to give it to Raw because Paul Heyman. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. No. He's the guy who started ECW. He's now in charge of Raw. That's his baby. Man, SmackDown, I would have to put them last over this last week because that's Eric Bischoff's baby, actually. He's in charge of SmackDown now.
SmackDown.
So, that's one wrestling thing. I've never actually... Sorry about that.
Up.
I've never actually gotten into the pro wrestling side very often because I don't know how many people out there are actually interested in it. But Vince McMahon, if you don't get your wrinkled ass off of WWE and go harass the people over in the XFL that you just had to resurrect out of the grave 2 decades later, if you don't go start harassing the XFL and leave Triple H and Road Dogg and all these other guys the hell alone so they can actually make your company successful to pay for your idiotic side project, you are an idiot. You're an even bigger idiot than I thought you were. Man, you have pulled some boners over the years. And I'm not talking about Joker and Batman's boners from the 1940s either. There's an esoteric reference for the win right there, buddy. And the best part is when we record the Tour of Duty here in about a minute or so, it's just going to be me talking and you just sitting there just trying to figure out what the hell am I talking about.
I do that anyways.
Yeah. So until next time, guys, I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That was Chris. This is the end. We will see you next week and maybe, just maybe, get the Tour of Duty out here. So if you see me still sporting the Batman thing, you know why. We'll see you next time. Godspeed, y'all.
Peace. Peace.